My name is Riley Hines, and this is my audience for my speech today. Dalton, Austin, Diego, Coleman, and Caleb. So today my speech is on the pros and cons of e-cigarettes. So in recent years, vaping has skyrocketed in popularity. I've seen this over and over in my generation in recent years. It's become more and more popular by the day. So it's obvious that vaping has negative effects, but surprisingly, there's also some positive effects. The purpose of this speech is to inform you of both the pros and the cons of e-cigarettes. And I'm credible to speak on this topic because I've done plenty of research while putting together this presentation and just from experience being around it the past few years. So my main points in this speech today are: vaping is a better alternative to tobacco, vaping lowers smoking rates and assists smokers in ending their habit, and on the con side, vaping is highly addictive and has caused widespread nicotine addiction, and vaping causes serious health problems. So my first pro is vapes provide a better alternative to cigarettes. E-cigarettes are healthier than cigarettes because of the way that they heat nicotine. So according to vapingfacts.com, e-cigarettes electronically heat nicotine, so you don't get the negative byproducts of burning. So as you light a cigarette, those burning, that ash and those negative byproducts go straight into your lungs rather than just the straight up nicotine smoke. So, and with cigarettes, the amount of nicotine in each cigarette is fixed, while in vapes, the nicotine percentage can be controlled. So as a heavy smoker, if you're smoking 2 or 3 packs a day, you're constantly lighting a cigarette and you can't control that urge. So that nicotine, that amount is constantly going into your body. But as a smoker transitioning into vaping to decrease your nicotine percentage, you can use a lighter nicotine percentage in your vape to control the amount you're intaking. So if you're hitting your vape as much as you were smoking per day, you're intaking less nicotine than you would be smoking. So my second pro is vaping lowers smoking rates by helping smokers in their habit. So by vaping, you're inhaling far fewer toxins than smoking cigarettes. And it makes it a lot easier of a transition than using nicotine gum and nicotine patches, because you're keeping that same ritual of lifting something to your mouth, and that same inhale action makes it a lot easier to transition from cigarettes to vaping, and then hopefully from vaping to nothing at all. So while it's not healthy for you, it's a lot better of an alternative, and hopefully it can help you to stop completely. So vaping is also way more cost effective than smoking. So for a low-end vape, if you're smoking about average amount, it's going to cost you $12 to $15 a month, which is, the cost of a meal. And with smoking about the same amount per day, you're going to spend at least $200 a month. So that's something that's going to cut into your budget. That's a huge expense for someone my age. So those are the pros of vaping rather than smoking. So this is my first con. Vaping is highly addictive and has caused widespread nicotine addiction among younger generations. Nicotine is extremely addictive and causes users to become addicted quickly. Symptoms include anxiety, depression, and lack of focus, just to name a few. It's a harmful habit for someone of our age with our brains not fully developed. It's a harmful habit because we can't control ourselves, and it becomes something that you do to impress others rather than something that you have to do. Also, vaping user numbers have shot up significantly according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 39% of high schoolers are considered heavy users, which means those who vape 20 days per month. Not to mention 4.7% are middle schoolers, which is sad because that's starting your life on the wrong path right there. That's a gateway drug. It's bad enough that so many young people are struggling with nicotine addiction, but the health issues only worsen matters. So my first con for vaping is my second con for vaping is vaping causes serious health problems. While e-cigarettes are much healthier than cigarettes, they still have many health problems associated with them. Some of these include brain damage, lung damage, organ damage, and eye irritation, just to name a few. And that's according to the Texas Health and Human Services. The long-term effects of e-cigarettes are still not known. So this is extremely worrisome because, while these just became popular 4 or 5 years ago, no one knows what's going to happen 20 or 30 years in the future. If you go back and look at cigarettes, they were thought to be completely harmless, and then people started dying of similar cancers, and then it was found out that cigarettes were to blame. So to me it's a similar pattern with vapes because right now they're popular and everyone thinks they're a healthy alternative, but we still don't know those long-term effects. So that's going to be completely new to us in the future. So hopefully you feel like you learned some things going into the future, whether you're a current user or whether you're thinking about starting. Hopefully you can make a certain decision based on what I talked about today. So to go over my main points, go back to my first card real quick. Vaping is a better alternative to tobacco. Vaping lowers smoking rates and assists smokers in ending their habit. Vaping is highly addictive and has caused widespread nicotine addiction, and vaping causes serious health problems. So that's my speech today. Let me go over my audience one more time. Dalton, Austin, Diego, Coleman, and Caleb on the camera. Thank you for listening, and hopefully I made an impact on your beliefs on e-cigarettes and smoking.